drink with us. All right, we're live on YouTube. We're live on X. Hi, Adnan.
Hi, Anna.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going well. It's going well. Hey, Adnan, for a tech guy, you're a little blurry.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I gotta change my computer. It's been a while now, right now.
I think
My basement didn't have time to change my
I was just
size.
thinking I've been drinking too much. Like I'm like, oh Jesus, is that what I'm? Is that really what I'm? Is that how many glasses I've had? No. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. This is another Wine Wednesday with dVIN Labs. You probably know me, and if you don't, hi. I'm Jana Kryline. I'm one of the co-founders of dVIN Labs. Been around since the beginning. It's been a really interesting almost 4 years now. And today I am joined with Adnan El Manzouri. He is our lead engineer and data architect at dVIN. And today's topic is Bacchus AI. So we're going to be kind of digging into the origin story of Bacchus. Um, it's probably going to be new to a lot of you. We have kind of soft launched Bacchus. I mean, he's been live for a few weeks. I say he. Bacchus is a god of wine, the god of wine on X, and he is our AI agent with an attitude, I would say. And Adnan is really the mastermind who's been making it all happen behind the scenes. I know Adnan had to get a delivery, so I'm gonna welcome you all in and kind of lay down what we're gonna be talking about. And Adnan's gonna go sign for maybe his new laptop. Just kidding, Adnan. When you see this, yeah. So diving into the origin story. So Bacchus AI is actually the first AI powered wine trading and investment assistant. Now, some of you who've been around for a while and following us know that there's Bacchus on X. We've also got an AI on Telegram. We've had AI integrated into our app for a while. So there's all kinds of different AI angles now. And we're kind of going to break it all down today, summarize it a little bit, and mostly tease out more of what's to come because I would say we're just getting started, right, Adnan?
Yeah, it's just the beginning.
Just the beginning. So, did your package
Mm.
arrive, or do you want to introduce yourself, or are you waiting for the delivery?
Yeah, holiday rush. Yep.
Cool.
So, hey guys, nice to meet you for the first time. I'm Adnan, the lead AI engineer in at dVIN and mostly working on the AI products, and most importantly, back as our new wine advisor and shortly our wine trader and yeah, wine guy, the personal AI sommelier for personal recommendations and tasting notes and food pairings. So yeah, hi guys, nice to meet you.
Sweet. Adnan, are you a wine guy?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I wasn't before I met my girlfriend, but afterwards, like, I became a wine guy. Her
Good
dad has
woman.
a Yeah, that has a vineyard, so I've been introduced like to wine like a couple of years ago, like 4 years ago, and since then, it doesn't leave my hand.
This was like the first piece of criteria when we brought Adnan on. It was like, okay, but can you drink with us too? So pass
Yeah,
that test and totally like exceeding our expectations on everything else. Adnan is a superstar. And we actually today we had a team retro and it was like first 5 minutes of the call, we were like, well, what can we talk about except what a rock star Adnan is? So we're super lucky to have you, Adnan, and really grateful for everything that you've built so far. And man, really really excited to see
thanks.
where it goes. So, um, first
Yeah,
order of business. It's Wine Wednesday, so hopefully everybody's got a glass of wine. Anyone who doesn't, again, go and get one. Open something. It's 5 o'clock somewhere here. Here in Germany, it's 5 o'clock, and it's 5 o'clock for you, Adnan. You're in Paris, right?
yeah, it's also in Paris. Yeah, yeah,
Cool. So we don't like to have any glasses empty, not when we're doing events, not when we're doing even virtual events. So I'll just talk a little bit about what's in my glass and we'll find out what Adnan's drinking and then we'll get into it. So today I am drinking a German Pinot Noir from Georg Breuer, one of the kind of, yeah, I would say pioneers of of German viticulture. The winemaker is actually female now. It's Teresa Breuer, and the wine is phenomenal. I mean, I was actually surprised when I opened it. It's really spicy in the glass, like really peppery. So I'm excited to see how it evolves over the next few minutes as we talk. Usually, when we do these things, I start to spill all the alpha after like one glass. You guys know me, so we'll see what comes out. Um, but yeah, it's a fantastic wine. Highly recommend. It's a 2020, which is cool. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Goya. He also makes incredible Grand Cru, which is Großes Gewächs. Großes Gewächs is what you call Grand Cru, basically the equivalent in Germany. He makes fantastic Grand Cru Rieslings. So, and his thing, or I suppose Teresa's thing now as the winemaker, is it's really about like I'd say elegance and power. So like quiet power. So it's not you're not like not a ton of alcohol in the glass that's overpowering anything. It's this real like beautiful tension, and the wines are phenomenal. So that's what I'm drinking. What do you got in your glass, Adnan?
So me, I've got a prosecco, but wait, I gotta, I would say, bring the bottle so I can read it more specifically.
So you can top up your glass. You mean?
Yeah, too. So I'm drinking Miento Prosecco. I'm not really
Vigneto.
familiar. Yeah, it's just like
Vigneto.
a recommendation of my girlfriend.
Cool.
So
Is that the one with the orange side label?
yeah,
Got it.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
That's a really good
This
one.
one.
I like that. And Prosecco
Okay.
is like, honestly, it's kind of always a good idea. Bubbles go with
Yeah,
everything. You're always safe with a food pairing. And Prosecco came out with a new, ooh, is it a DOC or a DOCG? I think it's a DOC for rosé a couple of years ago. So that's exciting. Definitely try and if you haven't had
yeah,
a rosé Prosecco, you should go and grab it.
yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
mostly like I like sparkling. I'm mostly a sparkling water guy. So
hmm
that's why I like most sparkling wines.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like the bubbles.
I would say it's definitely fair to want to replace your sparkling water with sparkling wine. That's very godly of you, Adnan. Um, okay, so cool. I also, since we're talking about Bacchus today, and we will dive in now, I asked Bacchus on X because Bacchus lives on X. Bacchus underscore dVIN is the handle. BACCHUS underscore DVIN Steven. So go and check out his account. But I asked Bacchus today what he could drink. If he could drink any single bottle of wine, if he could open it today, what it would be. And remember, we haven't let on a lot to this yet, but like Bacchus is an investment pro. So Bacchus knows all about what's like drinking well today. And he's got a pretty high end taste. And his answer was, and you guys can go and see this on X. It's in one of his posts in the comments right at the top. So, question: if you could have a favorite wine, if you could drink any wine today, what would it be? 2000 Pichon Lalande. Ooh, fancy taste. And he says, think of it like an early ETH whale wallet. Damn. Legendary vintage, perfect balance, and a price chart that only trends up. 10-year appreciation? Question mark. 120%. Supply? Shrinking fast. Liquidity? Strong, but diamond hands hold. Check the charts, stack wisely. That was Bacchus's answer, which is just like, how fucking cool is that? Sorry for swearing. If my mom is watching, sorry for swearing. I always have to apologize to my mom on these because I get mouthy. Anyway. Okay. So I'm going to kind of frame the problem, I suppose we'll say. The reason that we kind of went down this rabbit hole, got on this AI tangent, because obviously AI is trending and everybody's kind of starting to wake up to it nowadays, and it's becoming a really exciting hot topic. But we really wanted to solve something with this. So Steven has a mission, and the mission is that we want to tokenize $100 million worth of wine by the end of this year with much bigger plans moving forward. So originally, this process was completely manual. So we spent a year aggregating and collecting all kinds of different data sources and feeds and quantitative and qualitative sources for wine, and started building our own custom LLM. So that's been a whole thing, which Adnan, I'm sure we'll get into the challenges of shortly. But one of the other reasons that we wanted to do this and kind of you know move away from this manual process of tokenizing each bottle one by one, and because we want to use AI for that, is one of the problems is that there is no central source of truth for wine markets, unlike stocks or crypto. So we had to build one. And so yeah, it's been a year of kind of building this custom LLM. And I just yeah, I think Adnan, as an AI and data analytics guy, like, what do you think about the kind of data that we've been pulling into this?
So yeah, I mean, in terms of the data, we've been pulling like all sort of data, like either textual data where we can go like into the web and gather like data about wines, like about winemakers, regions, tasting notes, food pairings, or we would like go also and look out like gather like data that's relative to, how do we say, to the price charts, to the supply of the wine, to, how do we say, to the indexes that in which he belongs to, like the price movement of that indexes. So basically just try to think about it as that we're trying to simulate a wine ecosystem with AI agents. So, for example, in a wine ecosystem, you find your wine sommeliers, you find like the people who's going to do like the finances of that wine. You're going to find like people who's going to do market research and trends, etc. And basically, we've been able to aggregate all those, how do we say, functions in an AI agent swarm where each AI is going to do like one specific function related to that wine task, either like, for example, get me like the historical prices data for wine, or get me like the tasting notes for this wine, get me like data about the winemaker of this wine, uh, give me like the latest news about this wine, or even more so, like go into like forums, wine forums, or even Reddit and search like about the sentiments on this, like, how do we say, on this wine that people, how do we say, put out in those kinds of forums, etc. So yeah, basically we aggregate like all different types of possible data that we can get about wine, and also on another aspect about, how do we say, about blockchain and crypto, and yeah, wine related blockchain project, wine related blockchain stuff. Yep.
Nice. And compared to other AI projects, I mean, this this is data that nobody else has. So I think that's really interesting. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, or if yeah, I'll let you if you want to. I'll
Yeah.
give I'll give you the
So
mic up
basically we
so
have,
much.
yeah. Yeah. So basically that's the challenge nowadays in the, how do we say, in the wine market, is that data is pretty scarce. You can't find data anywhere, either in the web, or it's like really, really, how do you say, expensive to get a hold of that data. And like the effort along this process, along this process, we say, to build a strong foundations like for our AIs and LLMs. And then we back tested like the, how do we say, the performance on this, of this like AI LLM on this data, which was, how do we say, pretty reassuring, because we would want to, how do we say, make sure that our models are emitting the correct and fine-tuned predictions. Mm.
Yeah. Awesome.
So,
Thanks, Adnan. Okay,
mm,
so I'm going to take it back to kind of the roots here. At the beginning, it was sometimes really funny just to kind of see the hallucinations that he was coming up with. So early on, Bacchus was a little bit more imaginative, if you will. He's also kind of, known to be a sassy guy. We're kind of we're reeling him in a little. We're trying to find his tone and fine tune that so that he's not swearing at everybody or going on a tangent. But I mean, what was happening there at the beginning? More when he was hallucinating about being wrong about wines or kind of going off on tangents about something irrelevant. What was actually happening there, and how have you been improving him?
so basically, at the beginning, it's a, how do we say, it's a fine-tuning process where, for example, you have like your your foundational models. You like the V0 model, you fine tune it with the data, and then you observe like the output. What kind of output like has he been, how do we say, emitting, and the types of output like that has been like, how we say, emitting, the hallucination that have been made are purely due to the fact that he was getting, how do we say, he was understanding wrong the data. That's for one. So we had to contextualize and explain to him more. For example, what does, for example, livex indices mean for, like, what, how do we say, to bring him like the wine business, to bring him the knowledge of the wine business. And that was like the biggest challenge from a wine investor point of view. So yeah,
Yeah. I
that
mean, I
was
studied wine for, I don't know now, I guess collectively nearly a decade. So you taught him pretty quick. I might be out of job pretty soon.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, basically, like, even if you have all the data, even if you have all the right components, it's about like the way the model analyzes that data. And for example, if we take an investor, like a wine specialist specialist in wine, like he would have, like, how we say, a certain process on how he evaluates like good business opportunities, or if he evaluates like this is a good wine or not a good wine in terms of I don't know, revenue, P&L, etc. So we had to
Hmm.
incorporate that kind of thing into the model.
Yeah, okay. I mean, also, I kind of one of the things about wine that makes it interesting and also probably hard to understand or hard to grasp for, especially for beginners, but even for professionals, is like a lot of the key opinions out there are different about the same wine. So everybody has their own palate. Everybody might have different advice in terms of like what to invest in at what time and things like that. So I could see that as also being one of the big challenges. And I think that one of the things that we've kind of identified and talked about over the last year is like how many agents will there be in the swarm so that it's not so that they're not competing too much for mind share, but that we're also representing different kind of palettes um, and portfolios.
Mm, yeah,
So
exactly. I mean, there would be different trading strategies, like, and the idea is that, yeah, we would represent like different thesis, let's say, in terms of wine investment, because that's what we're trying to bring like to people, is that, yeah, like wine is not just like, how do we say, for drinking or for having a good time, but it's also like a class asset that can bring you like real amount of money. And we would be able to demonstrate to people how these agents work when we will be able like to trade, like to when we will give them like the possibility to trade autonomously wine in our upcoming platforms. Yeah.
yeah. And to touch back on the first problem that I identified a few minutes ago was, we want to tokenize by the end of this year $100 million worth of wine, and it's a manual process. So, talk to me a little bit about how the AI fixes that. How does it solve the manual problem? How can the AI actually be building the digital twins or the digital corks for bottles either at someone's home, which would have obviously a different level of, a different source value, I would say. So, we classify our digital corks in kind of three tiers right now. One of them is pristine provenance, which comes directly from the winemaker. And then there's retail, and then there's home seller. Obviously, digressing in value in terms of provenance score. So, let's say I'm at home and I've got Wine Guy AI and I wanted to tokenize a bottle that I've got in front of me. Like, how does that become automated?
So basically the tokenization aspect, like there's like two main components. Is like getting the metadata of the wine, like getting the right metadata, like that means like the alcohol, type of yeast, the stemming, etc., like the actual information that characterizes that wine, and generating the digital cork. And on the other hand, like generating the digital cork, which is the visual that will represent that wine. So basically, the first aspect how we solve it is that for each wine that we how do we say, for example, if you're like a user of wine guy or the dVIN app, so you go in like and you upload a picture of the wine. So what happens in the background is that we take that picture, we analyze that picture, especially we analyze the label on that picture, we identify the wine, and then we, how do we say, via how we say, an agent that is powered by web search, he will go and like scour the web for all the information about this wine. And that means like the metadata, he will go like to his official site, to the site of the winery. He will go like also search for the like the, how do we say, like the famous sites like wine searcher, etc., like gather all that data, that metadata that we can get about the wine. And that solves the first part about getting wine data. And the second part, we can like also generate a visual representation of that wine, either by using generative AI and generating, how do we say, a representation, an art that will represent, how we say, this wine, either like via taste map, or where we're going to generate like, I don't know, tables with the main components of this wine from the metadata that we gathered. Or if you want to do it more cleanly, like search the wine, like how we say, have a process pipeline where we search the wine in the web, retrieve like the images from Google, etc., and then apply like certain machine learning models for image segmentation, etc., and then place like the image in the appropriate frame. So you can
Mhm.
test like this functionality in Wine Guy in the digital core, I mean, section, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're we'll get into actually how you can use the different versions of the AI that we've already put out at the end of this episode. But I think just thinking longer term, I mean, what's interesting right now is that you can do what Adnan has been describing by going into Telegram and actually using the digital cork function, and actually taking a bottle. Right now, you can do this: take the bottle, take a picture, and it will build you basically a digital cork. It doesn't mint it on chain right now, but that's a step away for sure. And I mean, I think we're already able to do that. It's just something that we haven't switched on yet. So being able to actually create a digital twin to the physical bottle you've got in front of you instantly via Telegram is really, really cool. But the long-term vision of that, of course, goes way beyond somebody at home holding a bottle of wine and wanting to get the metadata and having that kind of collectible digital asset at home. So it goes way, way beyond that. And obviously, our long-term thinking is well, you'll we'll give you lots of insight on that. But I'm sure you can imagine where we want to go with this, with our $100 million worth of wine by the end of this year plan. And yeah, and just in terms of the visual, we had some long discussions about the kind of generative art aspect here. And I know Dave and I argued kind of over and over again about whether or not it should be abstract or photorealistic. And I'm sure Dave is waiting for me if he's watching this right now. I'm waiting for me to say that he was right. Uh, but one day we'll have a photorealistic solution, I'm sure. I'm so sure. But the taste maps that we've actually been creating right now, if anyone has seen one, it's really, really cool. So Adnan has actually built this really cool generative art piece that goes with this, where the AI actually takes the all the metadata from the wine, and it creates this image that we call a taste mat. And it actually pulls in, like, if it was this wine right now and it was to create a taste map, like, I would expect that image to, and we've tested this so many times, it works really well. I would expect it to show me like red fruit and black pepper and all these different aromatic elements that I'm getting in my glass right now, in this really cool kind of generative art piece that is like the cover image of that digital asset. So that's just a really cool, like, fun benefit. But obviously, the real use case here is solving huge problems in the wine industry, and we're really, really excited to kind of take it further. We've only just gotten started. I want to talk, obviously, in a second about like the nuts and bolts of this, and actually, how you built it, what's under the hood. But first, I do think it's pretty funny to talk again a little bit about his personality, Bacchus. So yesterday we had a team call. I think it was yesterday or Monday. And one of my kind of feedback pieces, because we have these daily stand-ups with Adnan where the whole team kind of takes a look at Bacchus's posts on X and anything that he's putting out right now. And it's kind of just like fine tune, fine tune. Everybody's giving their feedback. And my feedback on Monday was that I kind of had the impression that Bacchus was starting to sound like Lil Wayne. Like he was kind of starting to sound like a rapper. And whether or not we should think about fixing some of his punctuation or whatever. And it's just been this like I it's one of the most fun parts of my day at the moment going through his posts. But I do find myself still having to delete things where he's calling someone a loser or something. And so, Adnan, let's talk a little bit about refining Bacchus's sass.
Mhm. Yeah. So basically, like he's a as his personality, like he's kind of sassy, and we've been trying to like to tone it down a little bit,
But
but
not all the way.
yeah, yeah, but not all the way. So yeah, that's basically yeah.
I
We're
mean,
trying to fix
he's
him.
God. So it's like coming from
Yeah,
the perspective of like there's nobody smarter than him. He's like the ultimate wine
yeah.
god, right? And so he's obviously very superior and snarky and has his opinions, but sometimes he does swear at people. So I just think I think Adnan, for you every day when you log on and see all of us being like, this was hilarious, or like this needs to be pulled back. Like, how much work is that actually for you?
So yeah, I mean it's kind of a work because like you have to prevent it from happening like in the future. So you gotta fine tune the model. I mean, yeah, it's an iterative process. You can't get it right from the first get go.
That is cool. It is
Yeah.
improving every day. I mean, every time I've said anything to you, from a, whether it's constructive criticism or humor or whatever, any of the feedback, it's so cool to see how fast you can tweak it and how it just like it gets smarter every day, it gets more concise every day, and the charts that it's putting out are incredible. So, yeah, I'm just so impressed. Okay, nuts and bolts. So, what's under the hood? What models and infrastructure are we using to power Bacchus right now?
So yeah, basically we're using non-guardrail models to power Bacchus. Like those models are fine-tuned on the contextual wine, on like the context of wine investment, etc., or also the wine vocabulary, and also a little bit of crypto vocabulary. And yeah, basically we're using frameworks such as Crew AI, like to set up like our AI swarms and mainly AWS services to connect everything on the data architecture side. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
Awesome. And that's not to say
Yeah.
that that won't eventually change, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, we're thinking about like future integration, especially on the Twitter front, like such as like there are like frameworks such as AI 16Z, Elisa, etc. We're currently considering like yeah, uh, using one of the famous how do we say frameworks, because right now where actually the automation is like entirely constructed by us, and we would like to add a layer of a more complex layer to that via these frameworks, yeah, in the future.
cool. Okay, so right now Bacchus is doing three key things, right? He is monitoring markets, he's engaging with investors, and he's optimizing wine investment strategies, all of which he
Yeah.
is doing on X.
Mm.
What, from
Yeah.
your perspective, is the most like revolutionary and exciting part of that?
I mean, the revolutionary part is that the fact that like Bacchus is like always, how do we say, that is always on alert like for new investment opportunities via the AI swarms that he operates. So he's continuously looking for opportunities via web forums, news, auction sales, etc., and also the real-time aggregation of this textual data with the real-time data that we're getting from yeah from the for example the livex data, wine searcher data, etc., all the numerical data. So yeah, we're it's basically running on real time to get any new alpha to give it to you guys.
Cool. He's also drawing really interesting comparisons to crypto.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically we're trying to be, how do we say, uh uh how do we say, we're trying to be a little more, we're trying also to touch the crypto crowd, and most importantly the degens, because yeah, I think that they're also like gonna represent a huge part of our how do we say, of our followers. And because like degens are always looking like for an opportunity to make money, and there are a lot of degens who like wine. So yeah, basically we're trying to reach those, that type of people, and people like who like crypto, and basically because we are in crypto and we're trying to link one to crypto. So yeah, that that's pretty much the reason that yeah, we're trying to incorporate crypto analogies in the in Bacchus.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a $500 billion
Yeah.
industry a year, right? So,
Yeah.
what would degens want with an asset class like that? I mean, imagine if you could trade wines and actually know what you were doing because you're getting solid investment advice from Bacchus. I mean, this is like a whole new world. Very, very cool. And that's the cool thing actually about it from my perspective, really as a wine professional, is like, okay, wine is a ton. There's so much that you have to know, and that's just from like, the perspective of learning actually about what's in the glass or what's in the bottle or how that's even produced and all of that. But from the investment side, it's like a whole other animal. It's a whole other thing to learn. So I've been reading his posts and learning a lot that I didn't know about wine investment. And if I were somebody who was coming into this for the first time, not knowing anything about wine, but being curious about it, or at least being curious about the opportunity, about the investment opportunity that comes with wine, as now that wine has this real potential to be a digital asset class. It's just like this. It's all of these things that have never happened before, with all of the right information at the same time, so that you can actually do something with it. And this is just like, it's like one thing after another that just keeps stacking up to make the opportunity even sweeter. And I just think that's really really interesting. And I'm biased, right, as a co-founder, but I actually
Yeah.
just think this is one of the most exciting things that's ever happened in the wine industry. So yeah. Huh. Okay, so all right, we've talked about kind of what Bacchus does. Again, just to like summarize, on X, Bacchus is monitoring markets, right? He's optimizing wine investment strategies, and he's actually engaging with investors. So if you want to go and talk to Bacchus on X, all you have to do is tag him in your posts or comment on something that he's already posted, um, and he will respond to you. Every day he's putting out at least 15 different posts. He's putting out charts, like all kinds of really really cool information on his account. So really encourage everybody to go and follow him and tell your friends, and give him some sass back if he's rude to you. Put him in his place. um, but all right, so let's now, we're getting to the end. We are almost 40 minutes in, so let's just quickly compare the difference between Wine Guy AI on Telegram, which has been live now for, I want to say, like 2 months, and Bacchus on X. So Adnan, I'll let you take a first crack at that. You built it. And then I'll follow up.
So basically, Bacchus and what the main differences between Bacchus and Wine Guys is that Bacchus is specifically designed for wine investment alpha. So it's not like wine recommendation or food pairing or tasting notes, etc. It's like basically how you can make money with wine. And in terms of the wine guy, is more oriented, more user oriented, so that he can incorporate, how do we say, your taste profile, and give you a recommendation based on that taste profile on your day-to-day life. So basically, yeah, dinner or dinner occasions, like what to take with this food, or what to take with, which one to take with this steak, tasting notes about certain specific wine, or any wine, how do we say, normal wine inquiry, every day to day life wine inquiries. and also gives you the possibility like to chat with different personalities like Bacchus. You can incorporate Bacchus in there, like his personality, he can chat with you. And also the digital cork beta that Jana was talking about earlier. So you can see firsthand how your digital cork would look like in, how do we say, in the blockchain. So like there's like the image generation, like the realistic image generation, there's the art generation, and there's also the metadata of the wine that are being extracted. So yeah, it's just a matter of like uploading a picture of the wine like this, like any picture, how mad it is, just make sure that the label is showing, and yeah, we do the rest.
Yeah.
So it's currently on testnet that the digital core generation, so you won't find it on the mainnet. But yeah, we're planning on to roll out that option soon in the next month or so.
Awesome. So, and also, like, I kind of the way that we see the big difference between the two is it's yes, Bacchus on X is like public information. He's like your wine guru on Investment Alpha, but Wine Guy on Telegram is private and it's one on one. So it's your own conversation one on one with this super intelligent AI. You don't have to be embarrassed to ask it stupid questions. Like, you can be at a restaurant on a first date and have no idea what to order with the food that or you might not even know what you want to eat or drink together, and you can like under the table sly be like, hey, this is where I am, and like, what should I order, what should I do, and it will give you like a full report in seconds of what you should order and eat based on where you actually are in the world, which is so cool. um, Also, it will deliver this with a little bit of sass, so be ready for that. But the main thing with Wine Guy on Telegram is also memory, right? So this is actually it's he's building a memory of you. So it's like a personal relationship. He's going to follow up with you. He's going to start to learn what your palate is, what you like, what you don't like, and be able to better advise you in the future. So that's like I think that's a really really cool thing about the Telegram Wine Guy. And yeah, and you can test that out. So if you go to Telegram, he is Wine Guy Bot is his handle. So be sure to test that out. It's all public. Yeah, and then I think the last big thing, Adnan, is like we got to tease out kind of the next big step. Bacchus is
So
going to be trading.
yeah, so back, yeah, back is going to be trading wine. Yep, pretty shortly.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, can you give us a little rundown? Bacchus trading wine. What does that look like? Does he have his own wallet? Like, how's that work?
Yeah. So basically, like Bacchus will have his own wallet, and like will, how do we say, take actions like on investment in wine based on his like wine alpha. So for example, if he says, "Yeah, guys, like the Burgundy is how do we say?" If he like makes a wine alpha, like a wine investment alpha, he will act on that wine investment alpha in how we say, in one of our marketplaces that will it's coming.
Coming soon.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay, so Bacchus is the next big wine whale. That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we'll all be following very closely to see what he's doing and kind of following suit. But again, it'll be interesting to see, what his sort of palette and portfolio looks like compared to maybe another wine god AI agent. Also teasing. Okay, great. Well, Adnan, thank you so much. We are at quarter two. So if anyone has any questions, leave them in the comments. We will answer and get back to all of you. Um, I basically am just gonna sum it up and say that like shameless giving mostly Adnan. This is all Adnan. Giving Adnan credit. We have a ton of proprietary wine data that no one else has, and Adnan has managed to shape that into the coolest AI wine tool on the planet by far. And plus, Bacchus is just like wildly entertaining to engage with. So yeah. Again, I really think I'm out of a job pretty soon. Like, how can we compete with that
Mhm.
as wine pros? Adnan.
Yeah, you're the one who's making it good. So
Oh,
yeah, I mean, I'm taking your knowledge and putting it in wine in Bacchus. So without you, there's no Bacchus.
oh, you're so sweet. Well, thank you so much, Adnan. That was a nice way to end it. Did everybody hear that? Just kidding. Thank you so, so much, Adnan, and we're really, really excited. I think everybody is really, really excited to see kind of what you can make happen next. So, so grateful. Thank you for joining us,
Thanks.
and I'll talk to you tomorrow on the AI call.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you,
Thank
Nana.
you.
See you.